watched our most recent mock, we've talked about this guy at length. We've talked about getting difference makers at the position, especially in 10-team leagues, 12-team leagues, less so in 14-team leagues. But the first fantasy MVP I want to talk about here is a tight end, and that is Darren Waller.
Yes.
You can go look at our tight end tiers. We have Waller firmly in tier 1, and he's back healthy in practice as of yesterday. We're recording this here on August 18th. And right now he's going in the back of the second round in 12-team PPR redraft leagues. I think that late second is a perfect place to draft him. Getting Darren Waller is essentially getting Travis Kelce, but essentially a round and a half later. And Kelce last year was that clear league-winning pick of the 2020 season. And you can now get that this season in the second round. And you can still have a difference maker at the tight end position where there's really only 3 or 4 guys max who are going to give you 15 plus fantasy points per game at the tight end position. Waller saw more targets and receptions than Kelce on the season just last year. And everyone puts Kelce on this pedestal where he's untouchable. He's going in the first round, like 108, 109 in a lot of drafts right now, in underdog, in mocks, in actual redraft leagues. And Waller finished just 3 fantasy points per game behind Travis Kelce with 17 fantasy points per game. He was number 1 in deep targets, number 1 in red zone targets, number 1 in yards after the catch, was seeing a 28% target share. That's stud wide receiver 1 level target share from an offense. And if we look at the situation, the Raiders didn't really address the passing game weapons. They brought in John Brown, which doesn't scare me at all if I'm Darren Waller, as this clear, alpha big dog in the passing game. We have Bryan Edwards, who's still super young, super raw. We hope to see him ascend. We have him on dynasty rosters. He's been a guy we have been targeting late in those leagues, but at least for 2021, he's going to have to make some major changes to his game to really impact Waller's production. And then same thing for Henry Ruggs, who, again, we're excited about him, but not that formidable of competition for Darren Waller on the Raiders. Now, the difference between Waller and Kelce is that, Kelce's on the Chiefs. He's tethered to Patrick Mahomes, whereas Waller's tethered to Derek Carr and the Raiders offense. But regardless, all it takes is a few more red zone looks. All it takes is for that Raiders offense to get hot for a stretch of the season, and you have Waller outproducing Kelce, even if it's just 3 touchdowns, making that difference. And it's back to the same old song and dance for Waller, who's now in year 3 as the starting tight end for the Raiders, should be a lock for 100 receptions, 1,200 receiving yards, and hopefully pushing upwards of 8 touchdowns on the year. Draft Waller, enjoy the weekly advantage, and just pray that the Raiders offense can get hot this season.
I absolutely love the Waller pick. Yeah, it's been someone you and I have been talking about all offseason, and he arguably could have been a fantasy MVP last year, being drafted 2 rounds later and giving you the season that he did that you just highlighted. And the great thing about Waller is he does give you that floor. Like, he's going to be one of these top 3 tight ends, barring injury. And in my opinion, for Waller really to be a fantasy football MVP this season in 2021, going in the back of the second round, he's going to have to match or exceed Travis Kelce this season for you to feel like you really...
And I'll throw a hot take out there. I think going into drafts next year, Waller's going over Kelce.
Okay, yeah, that's fair. And yeah, for you to feel like you got a fantasy MVP at the back of the second round, I do think that's going to have to happen. But like you said, the floor is there and that upside is there. If he does get a few more touchdowns, if this Raiders offense does get hot, the pass volume goes up just a little bit, we could see that this season. Darren Waller is a fantastic athlete, so I absolutely love the pick in Waller in the back of the second rounds as one of your fantasy football MVPs for 2021.